one of your daily challenges is anxiety all throughout your day, one of the main reasons why you're experiencing this is that your focus is not in the present moment. It is outside of you, inside of your thoughts, focused on the future, the past, worries, something other than present moment and inside your body, or whatever it is that you're doing in that moment. And another challenge with having anxiety and it persisting in your day-to-day life is if you don't spend time decompressing and trying to focus on the present moment. Something like this could look like going for walks, sitting out in nature, spending time by yourself, away from anyone, away from your devices. Even if you're sitting alone without any distractions and thoughts start flooding into your mind, this is a normal occurrence or a normal reaction to finally sitting with yourself. If you haven't practiced this, then all your thoughts and worries are going to flood in when you start to try to practice your presence. And I'm no guru. I'm not perfect. I don't sit in meditation and have no thoughts come through my mind yet. But I do know that with practice, the more you allow space for your focus to come into the present moment, for those thoughts to come in, and an opportunity for you not to entertain those thoughts, not to judge them, and to allow them to pass by you in your mind and return your focus back to the present moment. Like Eckhart Tolle says, to be the watcher or the observer of your thoughts. So the key in addressing your anxiety is to cultivate a daily practice where you are disconnecting from everything and everyone. Another thing that I've started to do throughout the day when I'm doing tasks, when I'm doing anything that requires my attention or focus. I don't know about you, but a lot of the time when I do stuff, I'm not actually present and I'm thinking about the next thing that I have to do, or things that I have to do in the future, or things that I messed up in the past. Again, I'm not present in my daily tasks that I'm trying to do. So if you don't want to meditate, it scares you a little bit, you can start by practicing bringing yourself back to the present moment when you're going about your daily tasks. Something as simple as doing the dishes, or doing something at work, or you're grocery shopping, or you're cooking something. In all of these tasks, the goal eventually, even through meditation, in life, I've noticed, is to be experiencing this life in the present moment. So if you're doing the dishes, or you're cooking a meal and you're reading a recipe and you find yourself wandering off into the future or the past and feeling anxious, start to become aware of that and bring yourself back. One thing that I have started to do, I mean, it's a little silly but fun at the same time, is that when I catch myself feeling anxious and say I'm doing a task and I end up dropping something or doing something and it's because I'm not being present, all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, I'm not being present. And I yell, present, Kylie, present. Like when you were in class and the teacher yelled your name and you're like, here, or present. It just kind of reminds me of like saying I'm presently here, right? So it's almost like being that watcher of you, right? When you observe that you're not being present and you feel, all over the place and anxious, bring yourself back by saying, present, Kylie, or present, Bob, whatever your name is. And in that moment, you catch yourself, right? And so bring yourself back, remind yourself to be present, even take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, and then get back to what it is that you're doing. And the more you do this, you cultivate an awareness or a practice of an awareness of you leaving the present moment, right? So you'll start to recognize more and more when you're inside your head, and you will start to bring yourself back. So that's something that I have started to do because, like I said, I think that's the main goal is every day, you know, in the things that we are doing is to be present in them. Because when we are presently in them, we are really embodying, taking in the experience of what it is that we're doing. Whether if whether it's we're learning something new, we're spending time with somebody that we love, we're with somebody that's telling us something that has happened to them that's really bothering them or hurting them. They've had a traumatic experience and they need your presence. In those moments especially is when you can create that connection with that person, but only when you are present, not when you are thinking, when you are not here and you are thinking about something that you have to do after hanging out with that person. And you miss that opportunity to really make a difference or make a difference in that person's life, right? Yeah. So everyday things that we do, our goal is to be present. Presence requires attention and focus and awareness. A lot of the time, anxiety, continuous thoughts brings anxiety, and that isn't in the moment. And then we keep on feeding those thoughts and feeding the anxiety, almost as if we're not even in control of our own being. So, my goal is to keep on practicing bringing back that presence, bringing back that awareness of myself and the present moment. And whenever we're anxious and thinking about the future or the past or worrying, how does it make you feel? Nobody ever feels good thinking about that stuff or being in our head, right? And well, then this brings up, say you're in the present moment and you're not enjoying something that's in the present moment. So you want to go in your head to escape it. This is a little bit different, right? This present moment that is presenting, that is triggering something within you, is an opportunity for you to face yourself, to face the unconscious within you, to bring it to the surface, to bring it to the conscious state, for you to face it without judgment, to face your fear, and then to release and transmute it. A lot of the times, I mean, I even see with myself, but the majority of people is that we run away from these uncomfortable feelings, and probably it's probably because maybe we never understood the reason behind these uncomfortable feelings. Maybe we thought or we were taught or programmed to shy away from these things, to ignore them, to only focus on our happy thoughts, right? Because I think if we knew better, we would have done better. None of us actually want to do the wrong thing. We all want to do the right thing. So, in my practice, and in many practices around the world, and many people that I've listened to, speakers and authors, the practice is to face the discomfort, the uncomfortable feelings, to sit with them in order to become more emotionally strong and to transmute these feelings of fear and to build resilience so that no matter what happens on the outside of us, we won't be triggered. We won't feel an eruption inside of us. We will just feel at peace. And I definitely didn't come from that place where I was just, born into a peaceful state all the time. I'm still not there, but I've gotten a lot better. And I'm telling you that almost everything used to trigger me. Almost everything used to upset me. And I thought it was wrong that they were upsetting me. And I thought that they or the situations had to change, and I didn't have to change. This is a lie. And it might be hard and uncomfortable at first, but I'm telling you, it is the right way. It is the right way to go. Okay? So that covers that aspect of not wanting to be present in the moment because of the uncomfortable feelings, right? So being present in the moment can allow you to feel the connection that you feel with other people, the connection you can feel with nature, Here I am, outside, my favorite place to be. And in the present moment, you will acknowledge that you are okay, that everything is fine, and that whatever you're worrying about hasn't happened. Or if you're thinking about how you messed up in the past, that thing has already happened and it belongs in the past. And besides, we're humans here living this human experiencing, making mistakes left, right, and center. There's not one human on this planet that hasn't made a mistake in the history of time, right? Get over that. We are here to learn and to grow. And if you made a mistake, what did you learn from that? You obviously learned something, so use that moving forward instead of sitting with yourself. And trust me, I've been there. Excuse me. I've been there in constant self-pity and self-shame. And I was only there because I didn't know any better. Just like I said earlier, all of us, we just don't know better. So I'm trying to teach you or tell you my experiences and trying to lead you in the better direction. Okay? So yeah, use your mistakes to allow you to grow and to learn. Okay? So, thinking about the past, there's no point. It's already happened. What did you learn from it? Right? Thinking about the future, there's no point. It hasn't happened yet. Well, Kylie, this thing always happens to me. You know, and obviously it's going to happen to me in the future because it just always happens. Maybe that's why it's happening. Because you're saying and you're expecting this thing to happen, right? So your mind is going there already. So the way I look at it is that life is always going to happen. There's always going to be things that happen that are out of our control that we didn't expect. Curveballs all around you, right? Should I sit here and expect all the worst things to happen and be afraid and create that anxiety and that terrible feeling inside of me and then go about my everyday like that? And then my everyday is just experiencing the negative because I'm already in that state of fear. So now I'm perceiving fear everywhere I look, right? Because whatever you prime your mind to think or to see and to feel in your body, that's what you actually notice in your environment, right? So there's no point in living in that place of fear or expecting the worst thing to happen. So my point is, things are always going to happen, right? So instead of living in fear, go to that place within you of desire, of what it is that you do want, what it is that you are excited for, what is it that you're working towards, right? Go to that place. That way you'll be excited, right? That way you'll be moving in that direction and creating, right? You'll be in that higher state of being. And at the same time, to also trust yourself, to have confidence that whatever does happen, regardless of what I'm doing to try to make it happen, whatever does happen, I'm going to have the ability and the skill and the know-how to be able to deal with that situation if it arises, right? It's not going to be the end of the world. It's not going to be a threat because I already acknowledge that the only thing that I am in control of is my actions, right? My feelings and how I respond to something that happens to me. So it's a matter of, do you want to live in fear that something bad is going to happen? Or do you want to live in flow, in state? Do you want to live in that place of joy and excitement? And to know that if something happens that you don't expect and it's a shocker, you're going to be okay and you're going to be equipped to deal with it. You don't have to be thinking about, what if this happens? What if it does happen? Trust yourself that you'll deal with it when it arises, and you'll deal with it in a way where you just allow it to happen and you learn your lesson. Everything in life is based on the meaning, like the experiences we have are based on the meaning that we give experiences. So if our meaning behind negative experiences is, this is a threat, this is bad, right? We're going to experience all those feelings when that thing happens as well, right? I know what that feels like. You just want to crawl up into a ball and hide away from the world and hide away from experiences in general. Okay? So, yeah, I went on a tangent there. So, my whole point to this, again, is practicing being present. Okay? And the different things that we can do on a daily basis to bring our attention back to the present moment. I mentioned saying present, right? Or you don't have to raise your hand, but you know, you can say whatever word you want. I just use that word because it suits, it fits. Ooh, foot is asleep. So just little techniques to help you continue to practice flexing that muscle of bringing your awareness back to the present moment. And I really feel like this is the main thing that we should all do for all of our issues, really, not just anxiety. You know, I feel like bringing our presence back to the present moment allows us to see how things really are and to see that we are only able to make a change or to take action now, right? So, and aside from acknowledging those times when you're not being present, sorry, I got tingles in my feet from crossing my legs. I really feel like we need to spend more time in nature. I feel like, and away from our phones, away from our computers, away from our jobs, away from our duties. We need to spend more time doing nothing. And when I say doing nothing, I don't mean watching TV. I love shows, don't get me wrong, but over the years, I've really decreased the amount of time that I spend watching TV. Because think about it. Are you really relaxing? Your focus is on what's going on on the television and on the drama and on the story that's going on. And then you're feeling emotions. Like, I love anime, right? And like the anime that I watch is like super intense and super emotional. And like, while I love that in the moment, especially when I'm watching one of my favorite shows, like I love it. Like, aside from the TV, like what's going on inside of my body, right? My body's just constantly, right? Like going off, super emotional, feeling feelings, yeah. Like reaching the climax. Oh my God, look what just happened. Like, you are not actually relaxing, right? So again, it's cool to watch TV. I enjoy shows, but do I watch TV every day? Sometimes after like, I don't know, 3-4 months, I'll go on like a binge watching every day after work if I like find a show I like. But honestly, for the most part, after like a week or 2 of doing that, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And I really start to feel the discomfort and the need, like my body just needs to like get outside and come sit out here. And this is usually what I do, right? You are not relaxing when you're watching TV. You're not relaxing when you're doom scrolling on your phone. Sorry, I heard that saying recently. I thought it was kind of cool. Doom scrolling. Because you're doomed. You're doomed with anxiety. Anyway, so yeah, like your body is all like it's working hard and it's doing all this stuff and you're feeling all these emotions, right? And to center ourselves, to bring ourselves to the present moment, watching TV isn't something that will help us do that. So again, catching yourself in the moment when you're not being present doing tasks, right? Watching less TV, spending less time on your phone, and going and sitting outside or even in your room or on your couch but I really do advise being in nature. If you're not really one to enjoy it that much, find an aspect of it that you do like, sitting near a pond at your local park. But anywhere where you can get some fresh air, okay? So that is another thing I like to do one of my practices to decrease my anxiety is spending more time in nature and less time watching TV. Another reason why I think that we suffer with anxiety so much is that we are always busy. And we're always thinking, we're always on our phones, we're always watching TV, we're shopping, we're always doing something, and there's always something to do, and we're never not doing anything. So when we start to cultivate that practice of not doing anything, then right, like at first it'll be uncomfortable, like I said before, like you'll feel That's because you're usually buzzing all the time, and when you start to try to relax, the buzzing's gonna start to happen. But after a while, with more practice, you'll get calmer and calmer and calmer. Okay? So I guess I should just leave it at that. I hope that whatever I shared today resonated with somebody and that I planted a seed somewhere, because that is my intention. And so I will chat with you guys soon. It was so great sharing my experiences and my knowledge with all of you. This is really exciting for me, especially because I'm outside. And have a nice day, and we will chat soon.